Hey everybody, welcome to Gabe Infinity Watch here on YouTube. I'm back and I'm going to do a great new spotlight video on a great new omnibus. And that great new omnibus is Marvel Knights by Joe Quesada, which is kind of an odd title. It should really be called Daredevil Volume 1 or Guardian Devil or something along those lines to kind of match it up with the rest of the Daredevil Volume 2 Omnibus series that I have back here. Either way, we're going to go dive into this pretty soon and give you an in-depth look on what it contains, what the pages look like, all the beautiful artwork by Joe Quesada and David Mack. So stay tuned. So here we are with the Marvel Knights by Joe Quesada Omnibus. Here's the front cover of the Omnibus here. And I'll go ahead and I will spin this around so you can kind of get a nice 360 look at the entire Omnibus. Here's the spine, of course, with your typical normal Marvel Omnibus logo. We have the Marvel Knights by Joe Quesada down here on the spine. You have the credits for Kevin Smith, David Mack, and Jimmy Palmiotti on there as well. And here we go with the back cover. That has a lot more to do with the Marvel Knights in general than it does with just this Daredevil segment of the Marvel Universe that is in this omnibus for the most part. So we also get a biopic of the man himself, of Joe Quesada. Alright, so let's go and take the dust jacket off. Let's see what this looks like without the dust jacket. I don't know what we have here, but let's see what we got for the actual cover of the book itself. Another great, I love this. This is awesome. This is my first time seeing this along with you guys. It's another great Joe Quesada Daredevil piece here. Which what I like is when Marvel does these wraparound covers on the omnibus. And here you go with the cross, which is always a good, kind of your typical symbol when it comes down to Matt Murdock and Daredevil himself. The pigeons on here looks great as well. And this green kind of outline border, I think, is really well done too. So that's a nice, cool image they have here for this Daredevil run. So you might be asking what's in the omnibus. Let's take a look at what is collected in here. So we have collecting Daredevil from 1998. Numbers 0 through 15 and 1/2. That 1/2 was, I believe, a Wizard exclusive. If anybody here remembers Wizard Magazine. I love Wizard Magazine. I have a bunch of them. I probably have most of the good stuff from Wizard. I'm thinking about doing a video for that. If you're interested in that, leave a comment. Let me know. Do you want me to do videos on Wizard magazines? So we got 0 through 5, which is... I'm sorry, 0 through 15, which is the Joe Quesada run with Kevin Smith for the first, I'm going to say it was 8 issues. And then after that, jumps into David Mack's run. You also get Daredevil Father 1 through 6, Marvel Authentic Daredevil number 1, and material from Marvel Knights Double Shot number 1. So there we go with that. So with that said and done, can do a little side-by-side here for the book and the dust jacket. Let's take a look at the insides. Let's flip through the book as well. All right, so here we go here. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the insides. Let's do a flip through of the Marvel Knights. I'm just gonna call this the Joe Quesada Daredevil Omnibus from now on. So let's take a look at the Joe Quesada Daredevil Omnibus. So you might be asking yourself real quick, we'll take a look at a couple things. What's kind of contained in here? What's going on? This, like I was saying before earlier, it has Guardian Devil. It also has David Mack's Parts of a Whole. So this is one of the first times that this has ever been collected together with each other in a omnibus format. It also leads directly into the Bendis Daredevil Omnibus. So this is directly ties into the Bendis Daredevil. So you read this, goes directly into the Bendis Daredevil, and you are on your way. So let's take a look. No more waiting, no further ado. Here we go. Hey, look, a black page. Wonderful. That's a great way to start this off at. So we got the title page here with Marvel Knights. Some great Joe Quesada art on here. Here's the table of contents with everything inside. Like I said, we got Guardian Devil, which is Daredevil 1 through 8 by Kevin Smith, Joe Quesada. Jimmy Palmiotti on the arts. Handful of different folks here doing coloring and the lettering. Parts of a Whole by David Mack. It says pencils by Joe Quesada. I'm not quite sure how correct that is. I'll have to double check. I know at one point Joe Quesada left. That must be it. When he probably left about 11. And then David Mack was doing a interpretation of Joe Quesada's art. He was doing Joe Quesada, which is really funny. It became a joke eventually on the Brian Michael Bendis boards back in the day. Marvel Knights Double Shots #1. Daredevil Father 1 through 6. The 1/2 issue, which is a Kevin Smith issue as well, with J.G. Jones, Steve Dillon, David Mack, and Jimmy Palmiotti, and a handful of other wonderful artists in there as well. Like I said, I believe that was a Wizard exclusive. Daredevil Zero Cyber Comic, which I don't think I've ever seen before, and Daredevil 12 Gunplay. All right, so here's this. This is one of my favorite covers of all time in comics, is this great Daredevil #1 by Joe Quesada. Now, one of the things that we'll see here, and is actually listed, funny enough, on the dust jacket. I'm sorry if you guys can't see it, but it says, when Mr. Quesada draws, it's like the city courses through him. And that's a big thing that I know Joe Quesada did with his art in this book, is the feel of the city, the landscaping, the architecture, the details. Oh, so there's the image used for the front cover. Now, when this book was coming out, this is what launched Marvel's Marvel Knights in print. Basically, the story behind that is, well, flip through this, and you can hear me talk about the comic book issue that you might not care about. But either way. So, of course, at this time, Joe Quesada was not editor-in-chief yet. He was brought over from his own imprint that he was doing, or his own publishing company he was doing. You might have heard of it. He was doing a book himself called Ash, that was a firefighter. And that popularity with that book and everything else that he's did kind of convinced Marvel to kind of bring him over and help save, quote unquote, Marvel, because they were going through the bankruptcy. So they came over with Jimmy Palmiotti and they launched Marvel Knights. This is the first series of that Marvel Knights run. Joe Quesada got the indie sweetheart director, you might have heard of him, called Kevin Smith, to do the writing duties. And from there, we are off. So you can see in this book here, we got some great Black Widow in here. Basically, so far, what we saw in issue 1 is Daredevil, or Matt Murdock, a baby was dropped basically in his lap to take care of him. And this baby was, as we'll see through here, if you ever read this before, that baby was supposed to be considered the Antichrist, reborn, which is quite funny and odd considering what is going on here with that. Nice double page spread here. This double page spread has actually been used as a lithograph for Marvel's Origins. And that's what we get here. You get a nice shot of Daredevil's origin, the Hulk's origin, Spider-Man's origin, and it's all being told by this mysterious individual here who reveals himself and his nefarious agenda later in the story. But I just want to just flip through here because I think the art by Joe Quesada in this book is the tip of his career. I don't think he's ever been able to top something like this. And again, like I was saying, you can see I haven't really relaxed the spine, so it's kind of a little tight right now. Daredevil is actually getting ready to throw this baby off of a building because he believes it might be the end of the world because it is the Antichrist. And here, you may not know this already. This is something that's kind of been a part of the character for Karen Page for a little bit. This is where she has revealed to Matt Murdock that she's been diagnosed with AIDS. Another iconic cover. This is an image used in the Netflix series. This is an image that was used in the original Daredevil film starring Ben Affleck. So that's a great image there. I mean, really, like I said, Joe Quesada's art is the top of his game during this series. The pacing in here is fantastic. Joe Quesada had to do a lot of editing and helping Kevin Smith learn how to write for comics. There is a lot of dialogue, a lot of word balloons. If you've ever listened to Kevin Smith speak or seen one of his movies, he talks a lot. He's very good with dialogue. He is a chatty Cathy. He's been gifted with the gift of gab, but that doesn't work in comic books where Joe Quesada had to tell Kevin Smith that he needs to cut down on the dialogue so there's actually room for the art, or else it would have been just a wall of white text everywhere. And we get a little bit of that with this as well, but it was going to be a lot more word heavy at one point. Here, I'll flip through this a little bit more so you can kind of see some of the other stuff that is in here. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers. Here's a Mephisto. He might have had something to do with this. Some more great Froggy Nelson and Daredevil here. And that's the end of the Guardian Devil. I try to flip through a lot of stuff. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who haven't read this before, because it's a great story. And look, we have a happy Daredevil, which is very rare, unless you read the Mark Waid stuff where he's really happy, and that's great. And here we start with David Mack's run for Parts of a Whole, starting with issue 9. And like I'm saying, I don't think this was Joe Quesada. I think this is, again, Brent, sorry, And here we are with Marvel Knights Double Shot #1. This is one of my favorite comics of all time, just for the storytelling aspect of it altogether. It is all, as you can see here, it's through the whole story. This is all told through the mouth of a mobster. All from the inside of the mobster, where you see the Punisher show up. And through this whole story, the Punisher starts ripping the guy's teeth out one by one to get information out of him. And then here's Daredevil Father, which is a story of, obviously, Daredevil and the issues he had with his dad being a boxer and having all of that type of daddy issues. Some great one-page splashes here. Joe Quesada is just really great with his details. The wrinkles in the knuckles, things like that are just really fantastic on here. Again, I'm just going to flip through. I'm skipping a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to do this page by page. If you want to do it page by page yourself, check this book out. You can get it on instocktrades.com. Currently, today, as we speak, it's 50% off. Here's some nice Jay Lee work there. J.G. Jones. So this is the Daredevil Zero. This is the digital comic, so the art's a little pixelated. It's a little kind of rough and fuzzy. I know that comes across here on the video if you see exactly how I'm seeing this. But it's all very pixelated a little bit. It wasn't transferred very well. I guess it's what you can do for a Zero issue, I guess. So here we got Daredevil 12 was an interlude in the parts of a whole storyline created as a fill-in issue to help the series get back on schedule. This is Joe Quesada, Jamie Palmiotti doing the writing, Rob Haynes doing the art here. So really different change of gears when it comes down to the art compared to what Joe Quesada was doing earlier. It's a big fight issue between Daredevil and Echo. And that looks like we got some interviews on here, which is really cool. I'm glad they threw some interviews in here so we get some more information on their work, Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada's work starting the Marvel Knights. Oh, look at that young Joe Quesada there. There was a Daredevil Visionaries trade paperback back in the day for Guardian Devil, and the introduction was done by Daredevil himself, Ben Affleck. Not Charlie Cox, but Ben Affleck. So we got some cool sketch covers here. We've got the sketchbook. This is really fun stuff here. This is what omnibuses are all about, really, I think, is this supplemental material in the back. So we get some original page art here for the layouts that he had, that Joe Quesada was doing. This is all, that's all beautiful stuff. Okay, so this is the Marvel AUTHENTIX Daredevil #1, which reprints Daredevil #1 and all of Joe Quesada's pencils. So we get that entire issue in its original pencil form. Well, this is an inked page, obviously. And now the rest of it's inked, it looks like. Some more original art, interviews, Joe Quesada talking about how he, was doing the pacing and the storytelling for it. Statue designs, that's really cool. Pictures of Joe Quesada as Daredevil. Some photo references. And this is all really interesting. I love seeing the process that people put into their artwork here. Seeing that he actually did a lot of photo reference for his work. Some of the variant covers going on. This is the J. Scott Campbell cover for #2. the variant cover for number 5. Number 5 is a very important issue in this book. Another sketchbook. That's cool. Some more. You have some Kevin Smith, Jimmy Palmiotti, Joe Quesada antics here. The character guide of who's who during this funeral scene. And afterward by Kevin Smith. So this is very much how I like my omnibus. It's very in depth. It's all inclusive. Lots of great material in here. Lots of great supplemental material. You get interviews, sketchbooks, and stuff like that. So there we go, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. I hope you made it this far in. I hope you enjoyed this. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if this is your first time around. A lot of you might be your first time around because this is the first time I've done a video in a very, very long time. But I love this book, and this kind of brought me back into making videos. I'll be back again with some more videos, everybody. So have a good day. Thank you. Bye. Bye.